Checkpoint interview questions 2-1, what is firewall? Answer, firewalls control the traffic between the internal and external networks and are the core of a strong network security policy. 2. What are checkpoint software blades? Answer, checkpoint software blades are a set of security features that makes sure that the security gateway or security management server gives the correct functionality and performance. 3. What is checkpoint firewall? Answer, the checkpoint firewall is part of the software blade architecture that supplies next-generation firewall features, including VPN and mobile device connectivity, identity and computer awareness, internet access and filtering, application control, intrusion and threat prevention, data loss prevention. 4. What are the primary components of the checkpoint solution? Answer, these are the primary components of a checkpoint solution: security gateway, the engine that enforces the organization's security policy, is an entry point to the LAN, and is managed by the security management server. Security management server, the application that manages, stores, and distributes the security policy to security gateways. Smart dashboard, a checkpoint client used to create and manage the security policy. 5. What is dual stack network? Answer, a dual stack network is a network in which all of the nodes are both IPv4 and IPv6 enabled. 6. Does checkpoint support dual stack network? Answer, yes, checkpoint supports a dual stack network that uses IPv4 and IPv6 addresses. 7. What is the use of firewall rule base? Answer, the firewall is the core of a well-defined network security policy. The goal of the checkpoint firewall rule base is to create rules that only allow the specified connections. 8. How do you manage the firewall rule base? Answer, use Smart Dashboard to easily create and configure firewall rules for a strong security policy. 9. What are explicit and implied rules in rule base? Answer, these are the types of rules in the rule base. Explicit rules that you create to configure which connections the firewall allows. Implied rules that are based on settings in the Global Properties menu. 10. What is order of rule enforcement in rule base? Answer, the firewall inspects connections and enforces the rule base in a sequential manner. The firewall inspects each connection that comes to the network and compares the data, source, destination, service, etc., to the first rule. If the connection matches the rule, the firewall applies the action of that rule. If the connection does not match the rule, the firewall continues with the next rule in the rule base. 11. What are the basic access control rules for all rule bases? Answer, these are basic access control rules we recommend for all rule bases: stealth rule that prevents direct access to the security gateway, cleanup rule that drops all traffic that is not allowed by the earlier rules. There is also an implied rule that drops all traffic, but you can use the cleanup rule to log the traffic. 12. How do you define security zones? Answer, networks use different security zones to protect very important resources and to defend against malware. Create rules that allow only the applicable traffic in and out of a security zone. Make sure that there are different rules in the firewall rule base that define traffic to and from the security zones. 13. What are the key elements in security zones? Answer, these are the key elements that define security zones: external network insecure data, such as the Internet. Internal network company data that is only used by trusted and authenticated users. Perimeter, the border between the internal and external networks. DMZ, company servers that can be accessed from insecure sources, such as the Internet. 14. What is perimeter? Answer, the firewall on the perimeter of the network is responsible for all the incoming and outgoing traffic. 15. What kind of connections is allowed by a firewall on the perimeter? Answer, these are some of the connections that are usually allowed by a firewall on the perimeter: outgoing connections to the Internet, connections to the DNS server, Specified external connections. Connections to servers in the DMZ. Connections from the internal network to the internal network. VPN connections.